You're listening to Ed the Concrete Man, the only podcast where cracks get fixed, floors get fancy, and concrete becomes cool. Hosted by Ed Rivas, founder and CEO of Concrete Epoxy by CSI, serving up solid advice and even more solid surfaces across North Dallas. Whether it's your driveway, patio, garage, or mystery slab, we build and beautify concrete, and we've got the trowel marks to prove it.
Concrete is cool, but epoxy? Now that's next level, especially in high traffic spaces that need both style and serious durability. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Sofia Yvette, co host slash producer, back in the studio with Ed Rivas, founder and CEO of Concrete and Epoxy by CSI. Ed, how's it going today?
It's doing fantastic. Very busy, thankfully. How are you, Sophia?
I'm doing the same, and that's great to hear, Ed. So, our listeners would love to know, is epoxy a good fit for restaurants, gyms, or retail spaces?
It is actually. You know what? You walk into many places and you don't even realize that what you're walking on is epoxy. Like you see those color floors, like yellow floors or orange floors, or things like that in restaurants. Typically, when you see that solid color, it's not just basic paint. Typically, it's epoxy. In many cities is a requirement by the city because epoxy is very clean, so it's hypoallergic. I don't know, remember the word exactly, but it's useful for restaurants because it's very easy to clean and it repels all the mess.
Now, what kind of maintenance does commercial epoxy flooring require?
There are many different products that are in use on the market. I mean, it's like tires, right? You have the good brand, the bad brand, the ones that last and the ones that don't last, right? We are proud to say that we use products that are very high quality. However, you can clean your floor like you clean any other floor. Just we always recommend trying to use any no or do not use cleaners that have ammoniac on it because that can be a little more like hard on the epoxy.
Now, how long does epoxy take to cure before a business can reopen?
It's actually the turnaround is pretty fast. After the application is finished, typically it takes no longer than, well, I take it back. You can walk on it and do a lot of things in about, depending on the thickness, 24 to 48 hours. But really, it takes like 7 days to really cure and get the hardness.
Okay. And is that always the case, or does it ever vary?
It varies depending on the type of application, the thickness, and the type of epoxy because there are more than one type of epoxy. We have everybody use the word epoxy, but there are more products that they are related to, like epoxy, polyaspartic, polyurea. All those are materials that are used like what people call it epoxy, but not, it's not always the case. That there are variations on the products.
Are there many variations?
No, there are three, four different ones.
Now, what customization options do you offer for commercial clients?
I mean, there are different things. There is something called metallic epoxy. So you can make look like waves and things like that. I don't know, you've probably seen it on the TV. Like you see that crazy moving, like if you have a sky on the floor. Or, and there are many ways to do it because you can mix many different colors and make it look pretty cool. Or some applications are typically very solid colors, but there's the option to do nice customization. You make it look like marble.
Mm, okay. Now, is epoxy safe for environments with children or heavy equipment?
It is. Actually, epoxy is commonly used in warehouses. So in warehouses, you typically have like forklifts and things like that. And epoxy is very resistant. For kids, it's very, I mean, it's no harm. You see it on gyms. like gymnastic schools, you see it in restaurants, you see it on many different places. And I mean, it's like any other flooring. It's not going to harm neither a person or anything.
Now, how do you ensure slip resistance in places like restaurant kitchens or gym locker rooms?
When you apply the epoxy in those type of areas, it's typically not just epoxy. Okay, there are different materials that you mix it with, either with sand, quartz. There are different materials that you mix it to make a profile, to make some traction on it. Just to give you a simple idea, it's very common right now that people want epoxy on their garage. And if you see it, there's like many different colors, because it has something that is called flakes. The flakes, what they do, besides make it look nice with the colors, it also gives you a texture. So you have some texture, got to get some grip on it. If you put epoxy by itself, it could be slippery with a little bit of water. But there are many additives that you add to it. So you can use, like I say, sand, quartz, you can use the flakes, you can put anti-slip additives to make it look a little less slippery.
What are some of the usual additives that your customers like to add?
Well, majority of the people that want epoxy, they like the flakes because there are many different combination of colors. So it's very common to have that. So with the flakes, you're definitely going to have a grip for traction on your floor. Now we use 90% of the cases, on top of epoxy and flakes, we use a different variation, like I mentioned earlier, a material called polyaspartic, which is very resistant and also is not as slippery as the simple epoxy.
Now, the flakes, is that the client would like more of an appearance of marble floors?
No, marble floors are not flakes. Marble floors are epoxy on different combination of colors. That is there are two different applications.
Any final words for our listeners here who may be considering an epoxy floor themselves?
Epoxy floor is going to protect your floor, your concrete. It's going to make it cleaner because concrete is dust. So you have a dusty garage most of the time. If you put an epoxy, you barely ever going to see dust other than what you bring with your car tires. So you protect your concrete, you make it look good, easy to clean, and very resistant to like oils and tire marks and any of that, especially on garages.
Well, Ed, I really appreciate you being on the show today. We'll catch you in the next episode. Have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thank you, Sophia.
That's it for this episode of Ed the Concrete Man, because boring concrete is so last season. Want your space to shine and not crack? Call Ed at 945-400-4362 for a free in-home consultation, or visit csius.net. From driveways to patios and everything in between, if it's concrete, we've got you covered. Until next time, keep it smooth and let Ed handle the heavy stuff.